Alright, so I wasn't totally sure what to record today because I'm always having a trouble finding tunes that are suitable for performing this way, but I found a couple, and I also used these to demonstrate the other tuning that is possible, but I haven't really recorded anything with before, on both the soprano and the baritone ukulele. First off, we can start with the baritone, which I have now for the first time tuned to straight fifths tuning. That is, it's not re-entered like the one before. You can go back and view the other videos I did on tuning to see what I mean by that. It was tuned something like this, but now it's tuned like this, which is actually the conventional tuning for the tenor guitar or tenor banjo, as well as one octave lower than the violin tuning, exactly in between the viola and cello, if you so like, and the tuning of the so-called octave mandola to distinguish it from the now rather uncommon C mandola, which should likely be a lot more common than it is. Anyway, this is tuning G, D, A, E, just plain and simple, low to high. This is a pretty logical tuning if you're into fifths tuning, but I don't actually like it that much because I find it difficult to sound good with, in a way. I mean, it's rather handy for melodies. You have a very wide range, of course. It goes lower than any other tuning I use on it. It's sort of surprising that the low notes sound as good as they do with this small body, but it sounds okay. But I don't like the chords very much because they are too stretched out, so to speak. They are too wide range. They sound like this. There's no simple octaves in it, and in general it's just, if you're gonna play very simple major and minor chords, it sounds okay, but it's not so good for other chords, and it's hard to play melodies within the chords, so to speak, with the notes so far apart. I found the lack of octaves and simple thirds and fourths is really limiting when you play chords and melodies at the same time. I mean, if you try to play something like, there's a gap between those two high notes there. You want that note there, but it isn't there. Instead you just have I just don't like the sound very much, and I think fifths tuning aren't as popular as it should be just because people use this straight fifths tuning instead of a re-entrant fifths tuning. But even so, it is worth experimenting with. I just took the A, D, B and E strings of a regular guitar set. That's the strings I use for this tuning. For melodies it's pretty handy, of course. I mean, you can get some use of that extra re-entrant string when playing melodies too, but it's mostly for chords it's used. So if you're only going to play melodies, you might as well try this tuning. But it's not what I recommend first, but it's interesting to try. It goes lower, of course, than other tunings, so if you like having these low notes, this might be the tuning for you. But I'm just not that fond of straight fifths tuning on any instrument, and now I had this tuning about a month without changing back, so I've had a bit of practice at getting melodies out of it and so, but I still don't really like it. I mean, it sounds odd. I think you get basically a 2-octave range in one position, and I think that's a little too much. It's too stretched out. It's better having more notes in a smaller range than to have them stretched out like this. I mean, in the end it is. I mean, you have a low instrument and a high instrument in one, so to speak, but there's not really that much use for that in music, I think. I think you get a better sound having only high notes or having a narrower range. The highest note never seems to fit in quite the way it will with a re-entrant tuning, and it seems kind of pasted on like it's two different instruments or something. They're just too far apart, quite simply. Now there is another option in tuning, of course, and that is to use the open tuning, so to speak. I think this tuning is quite popular with some bouzouki and mandola players, and I mean, it's cool if you want to play raga or something like that, which is in one key all the time. But for chords it's not very good, because all you do is end up playing. And if you like that sound so much, you might as well use a normal tuned instrument with octave double strings or something. I mean, it's just not that interesting to me. You can also use a slide if you want to, but that doesn't work well on nylon string instruments. The tone is very weak, I think. You just don't get the sustain that's suitable for slide playing. But I don't know, others might like it. The fingerings are the same with all of these different fifth bass tuning, of course. That's part of the point. So the fingering of the chords are actually the same. They don't sound exactly the same, but you can use them. Alright, so here's a soprano. What have I done with this? Not the easiest thing to see, perhaps, but one of these strings is actually a piece of fishing line, and it's very high pitched. This is how I tune it. There's some technical difficulties with this. It's a bit difficult to knit or knot. You have to make an extra large knot, a double knot, to secure it as a hole, because a regular knot will just slip through the hole because the string itself is so thin. And it's kind of difficult to get it to stay in tune, but when you do, it's kind of fun. It's higher pitched than any normal string, and it's also very different in timbre. It actually sounds more like a steel string than a nylon string. If you want a wider range on a soprano or concert ukulele, I'd suggest extending the range downwards instead of upwards like this instead. But it's kind of a fun thing to try. You may also try a super high tuning using two pieces of fishing line, replacing your normal strings. But I'm not doing that now. The sound itself, I mean, it isn't really bad, but I'm not really fond of it. It doesn't sound like an ukulele should sound. It sounds more like a steel string instrument, I think. how high it goes. Even at this pitch the string is surprisingly bendable and it plays like a nylon string kind of, but you might not like the sound all that much. It's worth trying, I guess, if you think this seems like something for you, but I'm looking forward to changing this thing and the baritone back to normal tuning, because I had it like this for 1 month now, just waiting for inspiration to finally do this video, so I'm going back to normal tuning now. This is kind of a... I wouldn't recommend it for a melody player. I mean, it stands out too much. It doesn't go together with the other strings. It might actually make more sense on a steel string instrument to extend the range upwards. I'm not sure how compatible it would be with steel string instruments, but technically this is tuned to what would be high A, I think, on a guitar string, so it will, nylon string or steel string, it will be perfect for extending a 6-string guitar's range upwards by throwing out the lowest string, moving all other strings by 1 slot, and then using a fishing line like this for the highest string. Then you could tune a 4th or maybe even a 5th higher than standard tuning. But well, this is what it sounds like. You heard it. I mean, if you want this kind of tone for accompaniment, I'd suggest putting a lower string on it instead of a higher and just playing in a high position, because the way it feels, the way it doesn't stay in tune, it's just not what most players want, I think. It's not what I want either. I mean, it's kind of a joke. And if you are using normal ukulele tuning, the tuning you will go for will of course be from low to high. Right now I have this tuned to E here, D-A-E-B. So with a normal ukulele tuning it will be on a concert style tuning. like if your current tuning is D, C, E, A, then your tuning will with this would be C, F, A, D, where the D, of course, the highest string is the fishing line. Or if it's a soprano and you tune a oval tone higher, then it will be D, G, B, E. Yeah, that's full it. And you can of course use it on a baritone as well. Actually try that. You can use it for a kind of high fifth tuning on the baritone, C, G, D, A or something like that. But it's pretty useful. It sounds really stupid. The fishing line string does not blend with the other strings at all. So that's pretty much everything I had to say here for today. I don't know if you want me to cover anything else. I would like more suggestions for what you think I should cover. I've been waiting to do a video about my flutes I play, but they're nothing really interesting. They're just stock metal flageolets and some cheap, really cheap, I think Indian made, or maybe South American made. One of them is made in Bengali, what they call it in India, I think. I think the other ones are South American made. It doesn't really matter, you can get these pretty much anyway, they're not very interesting, but if you want me to do a video on my flutes, I may do that next. I don't know, I really don't know what to say about them because they're not that interesting, but if there's anything else you want me to cover, just give me a suggestion.